Zalete, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. A massive political statement just went down in West Africa, and it tells us everything we need to know about the shift in power, sovereignty, and dignity happening right now in the Sahel. The newly elected African Union Commission chairperson, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, traveled with a heavy delegation all the way to Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso. This visit was planned with high expectations. The AU delegation expected to sit down face to face with our all-in-all the savior, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. But Captain Ibrahim Traoré did something that has shocked the old-school diplomatic circles. He did not show up to meet Mahmoud Ali Yusuf. He did not sit in a fancy air-conditioned presidential palace to drink tea and take polite photos for Western media. Instead, Captain Ibrahim Traoré packed up and went directly to the city of Kaya. He chose to spend his time on the ground, face to face with ordinary everyday citizens, his own people. He left the meeting with the AU chairperson to his prime minister and foreign minister. This was not an accident. This was a direct, calculated message to Addis Ababa and the global powers. My priority is the survival and security of my people, not your diplomatic protocols. To understand why this happened, we have to ask the critical questions that the mainstream media is trying to avoid. Why now? Why has the African Union Commission chairperson suddenly decided to tour the Sahelian states, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso at this exact moment? For 3 years, these countries have been fighting an existential battle against TT, foreign interference, and economic isolation. When Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso were struggling, the AU stayed completely silent. They offered no military aid, no financial solidarity, no protection against imperialist forces. Instead, the AU chose to suspend these nations, isolating them at their most difficult hour. They released resolution after resolution demanding a return to constitutional rule. But now, when the alliance of Sahel states is actually winning, when they are securing their territory, building local factories, empowering the youth and moving forward, feeding their own people, the AU chairperson suddenly arrives. He comes bringing the same old Western talking points about democracy, holding elections, and reinstating political parties.
Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the press. I would like to first start by thanking His Excellence Mr. President Traoré, who wanted to accept this delegation from the African Union. That was well received. We had working meetings with Its Excellence Traoré, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. I just got also interviews with His Excellence Mr. Prime Minister, the Drago, these 2 days of maintenance to make contact mainly carried on one recommitment of this African Union partnership with Burkina Faso. You know that Burkina Faso is suspended from our political meetings, but still is it that the posture of the African Union Commission, and not to break one dialogue, to continue to engage the authorities in Burkina Faso to the extent possible, and ensure that our development programs partnership with this country do not stop. That Burkina is the founding country of the AUA, then the African Union, and as such I believe that there is one full member of this African family, and it is the responsibility of the Commission of the African Union to engage in this partnership on a solid basis. Of course, we have listened to the senior officials of this country, and on the political process is underway, the fight against terrorists. And in that, I would like to take advantage of this to really address our sincere condolences to attacks of geniuses from the Islamic State of Israel who today kill Burkinabe. The last attack took place in Titao, and I believe that the phenomenon of terrorism is one phenomenon that all Africa must fight. And in this, the solidarity of the African Union is full and complete with Burkina Faso. Of course, Burkina Faso was the country which validated the constructive act of the African Union. He endorsed the Charter on Democracy and Elections. We took note the adoption of the March Charter 2026 Burkina Faso. And we have expressed to the authorities of this country that it is very important for us also as a commission that the principles of this charter on democracy, this I would say, this constructive act, it is respected, and we believe that the political process conducted by the authorities of Burkina Faso, which must irremediably lead to, I would say, the opening of the political space and the relocation of political parties and elections to come. Of course, all the same. After the completion of this process, what we say today is that the authorities have explained to us that they have in one existential fight against terrorists. And I think that in that we can only stand alongside Burkina Faso. We also called Burkina Faso that the relationships between Burkina and CDA are improving. And especially in the case of SCDAO, there was, of course, one process that started to smell it. And we support, the African Union Commission supports this process. We also have a wish that the black and white process, which established one security cooperation, and especially in the fight against cross-border crimes. This process is also proclaimed for us to create this, I would say, this dynamic of harmony, of partnership between the countries of the region, the CDAO, and the continent in a wider way. I would like to finish my real balocution here by saying that Burkina is not alone in giving in to itself, and he should not feel alone. Africa is quite spoiled. We have on the continent many things to do also in terms of reform, in terms of consolidation of achievements. But it is certain and that we can't live in autarky. No country, no group can live in autarky. And we will make sure that this harmony we are looking for, this solidarity, which must be de rigueur, be really materializes in the field through our partnership with its Burkina Faso. Here is one little bit, one summary of the interviews I may have had with the authorities of this country.
Let's speak plainly. Captain Ibrahim Traoré has made it very clear. The democratic script we are forced to read in West Africa was not written by us. It was written for us by Western interests. Under this Western packaged democracy, African nations are kept divided. Elections are turned into ethnic battleground. Multi-party systems are used as entry points for foreign powers to fund puppet politicians and keep our raw materials flowing out of the continent for peanuts. Look at the contrast. While democratic countries in Africa struggle with extreme corruption, mass poverty, and leaders who answer to the West are praised, while the ones who are building infrastructure, changing the narrative of their people and making sure that the African has control over the resources, nationalizing everything and changing the narrative, making the world to understand that the African is capable of managing his own affairs. We have the AU chairperson right in front of us telling us that this system that the AES leaders are practicing is not good. So we need to go back to the constitutional rule whereby our resources can continue to be flowing out of the continent without the resources being used to benefit us. When this man went there, I am sure that he has seen the beautiful things that we have been showing them on the internet. Yet, African Union chairperson is not interested in that. The only thing that they are interested is giving us democracy. What is democracy, like P.O. Lumumba will ask? What is this word in our language? We do not have a word for it. Why is it that our leaders in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, are bent on making sure that the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are back into oppression? Why are they always singing the songs of the West? Because we have seen these same people writing resolutions upon resolutions in EU. So why will African Union, who is preaching Agenda 2060 to make sure Africa becomes a better place, the same people who sit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, telling us that African solution to the African problem are the same ones who are back into Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, where our all in alls have made it clear to them that we are no longer practicing democracy. We are in a revolutionary era. Progressive revolution. These are the same people who are coming back to sing the same old songs that the West are singing. Why are we singing the songs of the West and not the songs of the African? Is it democracy we want, or we want a change in Africa? Our leaders must come again, because we don't understand them when they speak. You can't tell us that you are looking for a change in Africa, yet you have leaders who are doing exactly what you sit in Addis Ababa for all these years to be preaching, and people are using just a few years to change or cause that change, and you still sit here and ask for democracy. Is it constitutional rule we want? What is constitutional rule? What is democracy? If it is truly democracy outside of what the West is preaching, then the whole of Africa, the only people practicing democracy are the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, because these leaders and making sure that the resources benefit their people. People don't sit down to have upper hand on our resources, determine the prices. How can African Union Commission chairperson come to us and tell us to go back to democratic rule, yet the same democracy was in existence when we were having uranium leaving Niger and they were buying it 0.080 and African Union was quiet, all in the name of Western democracy. But now that we have a leader in Niger who is selling the same uranium that France was selling in the world market for 200 euros, selling it the same price, African Union shows up to tell us to go back to the rule whereby the resources are sold for 0.080 euro. Have we seen the kind of leaders we have? Is this what you are looking for us? Captain Ibrahim Traoré just answered AU. It was not a coincidence. He just intentionally decided to go and meet his people, making it clear to them, if yours is to go about preaching democracy, like Captain Ibrahim Traoré said, we do not want democracy. Democracy, as we know, hasn't helped Africa. We have practiced this system for over decades now, and we have not seen any change in Africa. And our leaders are still holding on to the same democracy that is not giving Africa anything. Go to all the democratic countries and see. Like the Sierra Leone First Lady said, that our resources, the day you rise up to do something good, the big boss will show up. So this is what you want for us. This is the democracy you want for us. This is the democracy you want for us. And even the ECOWAS chairperson said, those leaders in Africa leading us are protecting borders instead of protecting us, the people. So is this what you want for us? That the leaders should continue to protect borders instead of protecting us, the people? When the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are protecting the people, you are still forcing them to come back to oppression and continue to protect the borders. Captain Ibrahim Traoré just made it very simple. I am not interested in your talks because you are coming to tell me or sing the songs of the colonizer to me, which I am not ready to listen to. So Captain Ibrahim Traoré sent a very big message to the West, because these people are back here singing the same resolution that was passed in EU. If we continue to allow ourselves to be under oppression, we'll continue to be. But the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have decided to choose a different path, and that is sovereignty, freedom, total freedom. I thought he was coming to praise them. But why did he even choose to come at the time that we have seen that Mali and Niger and Burkina Faso have been able to neutralize these people? Why now? What are your thoughts? We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided before, and united we keep standing forever and ever. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa, West Africa, and in Burkina Faso.